The effects of eating daily breakfast on academic performance. Breakfast consumption is associated with positive outcomes for diet quality, micronutrient intake, weight status, and lifestyle factors. Children who consume breakfast daily are more likely to have the nutrients needed for higher daily fiber, total carbohydrate, and lower total fat and cholesterol. Evidence suggests that breakfast having positive effects on learning in children. Behavior, cognitive development, and school performance are all enhanced. Students who skip breakfast are less able to differentiate between visual images, show increased errors, and have slower memory recall. This proposal intends to investigate whether students' performance on the research-based iReady assessment will increase due to eating breakfast at school prior to taking the assessment. This project predicts academic performance will increase reading and math scores due to consuming breakfast at school before participating. Baseline data will be collected both at the beginning of the experiment and after 3 months of implementing breakfast in the classroom for the study. Some students come to school every day lacking the nutrition that is needed to learn. The calories they do intake generally are lacking essential vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients necessary for strong, healthy bodies and timely brain development. A large percentage of students will only eat during the school day. This can lead to malnutrition that affects the brain, further impacting emotional reactions and student achievement. Schools need to implement a plan that will provide a more balanced menu to help children become more energized and become better able to focus. A prerequisite for academic learning is the ability to pay attention and stay on task. When children consume a balanced diet, students will perform better academically and their behavior will improve, creating a better learning environment. Evidence suggests that students will access a better nutrition, are better equipped to learn. In addition, student behavior also improves, causing fewer absences and disruptions in the classroom. Every Student Succeeds Act requires that students with disabilities, even those with the most significant cognitive disabilities, participate in state and district assessments. In the last 2 years, requirements to show improved academic scores within the special needs population in the state of Alabama has dramatically increased. The fundamental question that drove this study is, does a significant difference exist between the performance of nourished students who participate on the iReady assessment who had eaten breakfast and those who had not eaten breakfast? Decatur City Schools chose the iReady curriculum for intervention with students who have an IEP in place for reading and math. All intervention classes are in the morning block schedule. A great number of students receive free or reduced breakfast and lunch at Austin High School. 70% of these students do not eat breakfast before coming to class. Without proper nutrition and adequate calories, students often do not have enough energy to power the brain, resulting in fatigue and learning problems. Despite the well-known importance of breakfast, nearly 1/3 of school-aged children arrive at school without having eaten a meal. Students do not eat breakfast for several different reasons. They're either not hungry, they don't have enough time, or they lack of food in the home. The impact on student achievement. Both the CDC and the British Journal of Nutrition report how students that regularly miss breakfast often have difficulty with effective problem solving, lower energy levels, and decreased physical activity. These studies likewise show that by not eating breakfast, these students are also at risk for experiencing low blood sugar. Regular breakfast intake has been shown to correlate with on-task behavior because of enhanced ability to concentrate and remain alert in the classroom. Existing evidence points to positive effects on breakfast in cognitive achievement, including memory and attention. On-task behavior in the classroom may be associated with improvements in academic performance supported by positive association between breakfast intake and academic performance. The research methods for the study. 2 groups will be involved in the experiment. The experimental group, which will be given a breakfast 30 minutes prior to taking the iReady assessment, and the control group, which will be given nothing to eat. Both groups will be taken from the same reading and math academic grade level. The 2 groups will be given the same amount of time to take identical tests. The test scores of the experimental group will be compared to the scores of the control group. If the group that consumes breakfast scores are higher than the control group, then it would prove that eating before taking a test would be beneficial to helping students receive a higher grade. The breakfast will be independent variable and the scores will be the dependent variable. This study will focus on improving academic performance on the iReady assessment by feeding students breakfast prior to taking the skills test. Evidence suggests a positive association between habitual breakfast consumption frequency and quality on school grades or achievement test scores. Research shows that students who participate in school meal programs consume more dairy, fruits, and vegetables at meal. Research has demonstrated a link between eating breakfast and positive performance in school. By the time students are in high school, 20 to 30% of them do not eat breakfast prior to coming to school. According to an Austin High School survey, 70% of students come to school without eating breakfast. Given the poor results of the iReady assessment, the school should offer breakfast in the classroom prior to participating in school assessments. Students who eat breakfast in the morning earn significantly higher scores in spelling, reading, and math compared to those who do not eat breakfast. Students attending schools that offer breakfast are more likely to eat an adequate size, nutritious meal. Children who increase their school breakfast participation as a result of a school breakfast program show improvements in depression, anxiety, and hyperactivity more so than children who participate remains unchanged or decreases. Data shows that when children participate in school breakfast, they experience improved functioning. Eating breakfast is crucial in creating a school environment that promotes learning. According to the study, children experiencing hunger are more likely to be hyperactive, absent, or tardy, in addition to having behavior and attention problems more often than other children. Students who are undernourished have more reduced cognitive functioning when they miss breakfast. Students who do not eat breakfast have slower memory recall, demonstrate diminished ability to differentiate among visual images, and show increased errors. Students who eat breakfast at school perform better on standardized tests than those who skip breakfast. Adolescents who skip breakfast tend to have poor nutrient intakes than those who eat breakfast. According to Bauer, eating breakfast regularly is linked with greater intake of fiber, calcium, iron, vitamin C, and other vitamins and minerals, and lower intake of fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Eating school breakfast is linked to with fewer visits to the school nurse. According to Bauer, school breakfast participation is associated with a lower body mass index, lower probability of being overweight, and lower probability of being obese. Office referrals, tardiness, and poor attendance is also linked to students who do not consume breakfast. O'Sullivan found the following. The effects of nutrition on childhood development are becoming more widely understood, specifically in the context of brain development. Evidence suggests that nutrition and diet may play influential roles in mental health prevalence and severity, such as with ADHD symptoms. Students experiencing hunger are more likely to have been suspended from school and have difficulty getting along with other children. Children with hunger are more likely to have repeated a grade, receive special education services, or receive mental health counseling than low-income children who do not experience hunger. Students who eat a healthy breakfast tend to concentrate than students who skip breakfast altogether. When the school day starts with breakfast, students can better focus on the task at hand and become less distracted by outside influences and other students. They may also be able to understand what is being taught and retain the new information better than students who are hungry because they have missed breakfast. When students sleep, they're technically fasting because they're going without food. Because of this, blood sugar starts to drop overnight. Eating breakfast provides the glucose the body needs for energy to get through the day. When students wake up after an overnight fast and go to school without eating breakfast, they start the day with low blood sugar that continues to decline. The decline can leave them feeling sluggish and makes overall functioning throughout the remainder of the day more difficult. On the other hand, eating a healthy breakfast before school raises blood sugar to a healthy level and provides the necessary energy the students need to perform well in class until lunchtime. Improved test scores and concentration are not the only focus of benefits. Eating breakfast can help students meet their daily nutritional needs. All students with special needs at Austin High School participate in an iReady assessment once a month throughout the school year. iReady is a tool that administrators use to determine student growth in academic areas of reading and math. A survey conducted by the staff at Austin High School determined 70% of students do not consume breakfast prior to coming to school. Current scores with the iReady assessment of Austin High School students with disabilities are below 2 or more grade levels. There's a total of 2 groups participating in the study. The students will be divided into 2 different classrooms. Classroom A will consist of a group of students that will be provided breakfast in the classroom setting prior to taking the assessment. Classroom B consists of a group of students who will not be provided breakfast in the classroom setting until after they take the assessment. The students will be assigned this classroom prior to eating breakfast, so Group B will not know breakfast is being served prior to participating on the assessment. Both set of students will take the assessment and scores will be documented. The study will seek to determine if consuming breakfast prior to the participating in the iReady assessment will improve student performance. The population will consist of 50 students with special needs in grades 10 through 12 at Austin High School. In grade 10, there are 17 students participating. In grade 11, there are 22 students participating. In grade 12, there are 11 students participating. All students are participating have a learning disability in the area of reading and math and have a current IEP. This study contains two primary variables. The independent variable will be eating breakfast or not eating breakfast. The dependent variable is the iReady assessment test scores. The hypothesis is when children consume a balanced diet, students will perform better academically and their behavior will improve, creating a better learning environment in the class. The goal is to research supporting offering breakfast in the classroom prior to participating in assessments to improve student performance. By working with administrators and cafeteria staff for the student benefit, more insight is gained into what each student needs to be successful in the classroom. City resources will be utilized in order to ensure the cost of the breakfast is available. Grant funding may be also available to ensure additional resources can be made available. The iReady assessment will be administered following the 3-month study, and the data will be determined if the hypothesis was correct or incorrect.